Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games of the Game Pass collection, bringing you three unique perspectives and varying skill range. I am the Master Cheeks of this episode, Andrew. With me are Lieutenant Williams, Keith.
Hello.
And our Sergeant Johnson, Aaron.
Honestly, I'm surprised I didn't get Master Cheeks. That's like a very...
Because I called it.
Yeah, I like how when Andrew now, what he does is when he's like saying a name, you just see the smile on his face. Yeah, he's just like, ooh, I like this one.
Oh,
so excited.
He's been
I was hoping you'd go, if I gave you Sergeant Johnson, I was hoping you'd go blackface. Get canceled. Or at least you attempt his accent.
No. I don't have that type of aura.
Don't give Aaron any ideas, though. He'll do it so he can get canceled and kicked off this podcast.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good
But
point.
I'm not giving you Master Cheeks, Keith. I gave you the most annoying character.
I just figured because you'd be calling me Cheeks. You just called yourself Master Butt.
But anyway, this week we played Halo Campaign Evolved by Halo Studios. Halo Campaign Evolved is a rework of the original Halo 1 campaign with the now prettier graphics and 3 new missions. And that's about it. No multiplayer. So if you're looking for that, well, tough luck.
It's literally called Campaign Evolved, though. So
I know. But
that's kind of on you for not realizing that.
Yeah. Anyway, but let's get into this. Whether or not we recommend this as a game or something you should pass on. So I'll start this off. I was excited to do this because if you're looking online, this game is apparently crazy controversial. Like everyone is like scrutinizing this game like crazy. But is it worth your time? Overall, I'd give this a game. At the end of the day, does it have issues? Absolutely. Is this better than the original Halo? Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, it's still the first Halo campaign. And honestly, it's kind of hard to screw that up. It's still fun, but yes, it does have its issues. Would I pick this over the original? Absolutely not. But I still didn't mind it. There was moments of it, then even with the new missions, where I'm like, hey, I kind of like what they did here. But we'll get into that. So overall, I would still give this a game.
Yeah, I mean, I known non-Halo lover of this podcast. I've never really been a big Halo guy. I when Halo came out, I was still a PlayStation guy. I only played Halo through you guys, like multiplayer. So I just never got into it. And even when I came over to Xbox, I just never fell in love with the series. They're good games. I don't care for them, honestly. And so, like you said, this is the first Halo that's been remastered, and it looks beautiful, but it's the first Halo. So it's as game of as much as any of the original Halos, but probably I think, I don't know. I wouldn't tell you to go play this one versus the first one, I guess, because it's all Halo to me. And honestly, that comes down to Halo 2, 3, 5, 17, ODST. They're all Halo to me. It's all Halo.
See, I was curious how you were going to feel with this, because Keith is, like, this is the new Halo for the modern audience, which Keith kind of is that, because, like you said, you didn't play the original, and the people who are tearing this game apart are obviously people who are lovers of the original. So that's why I was curious of, like, hey, the new things they added, did this change the needle at all for you, Keith?
I guess that's what's confusing. Like, is this supposed to get people who are like never into Halo like suddenly into it? Because it did nothing. It remastered the graphics, and not to get too far, but they look great. But
it added sprint. It added more to the actual kind of story.
Which I'm probably gonna fall under the old school Halo people here. We'll get into all that. Yeah, it's fine. It's a game, but I don't.
So it did move the needle from the original.
Didn't move the needle either direction, up or down.
Yeah, this is kind of your classic mixed bag for me.
You should have said grab bag.
What's kind of funny about this is I kind of already want to debate Andrew on his comment, on his statement here at the beginning, but I'm also going to come down on it and be pretty negative. But I would actually say that this is better than the original, and I would like to fight with why. Why is this not better? So we'll get into that. But this is a classic mixed bag. So for this being Halo Studios' first game, so 343 is gone. Halo Studios comes in. They already announced that they are moving off of the Slipspace engine and they're moving into Unreal Engine. So this is the first Halo ever to be played on Unreal Engine, which was a smart move, I think, for them.
Yeah.
Because for years, Halo's had an issue with bringing in developers who don't know Slipspace Engine because it only exists for Halo, but everybody knows Unreal. So it now allows you to actually create these games probably at a pretty decent pace moving forward. Smart move. So here you are. This is your first chance to kind of really show off your chops. And I think in a lot of ways they did, in a lot of ways they didn't.
And that's why they got hit with layoffs.
Yeah, so, well, everyone's getting hit with layoffs. Literally,
Yeah,
I don't know
but
how
they
you
literally
watch
just got
gaming
announced
news.
today.
I literally don't know how you watch gaming news and not just like everyone's getting laid off.
I know,
Literally
yeah.
everywhere. And it's been like that for months now, maybe even close to a year at this point. But yeah, so this is a classic mixed bag for me, where I'm going to come out of this and have a lot of pretty decent things to say about it. But man, there's a lot of just head scratching things here as well. And it kind of sucks because this should have been a slam dunk.
Yeah. All right. But let's get into this. So the story, of course, if you know, is Halo. You know, you play as Master Chief, who, you know, you're the last Spartan. You're running away from the Covenant. Discover an alien planet, which is a giant Halo ring, where it gets its name. But yeah, the Covenant are basically eradicating humans. You find this, you think, hey, this is a new weapon. Maybe this can help us win the war. Come to find out, nope, it's actually a prison for a parasitic alien, and starts killing everyone. Then you as Master Chief have to try to get off this planet, stop the Covenant, and try to get home. But that's the original story. But I really want to talk about where Halo Studios was really supposed to flex their chops, and that is the prequel missions. I really want to talk about these prequel missions. There is 3 of them. The 3 missions, the story for this one is, it is earlier in the war. It's supposed to take place a little bit after the planet Promise gets destroyed, which I think is the 2nd or 3rd planet that the Covenant destroyed.
So hold on, is this before? So this is before Reach, the fall of Reach.
Yes.
Okay.
Because Halo 1 takes place immediately after Reach.
Yep.
So this is before Reach, this is what I'm going to get into. Like, all right, I'm going to try not to be like, well, actually in the books, but there are some glaring plot holes that really irritated me in the prequel missions. But yeah, so this takes place after the planet Promise gets glassed. You are tasked with going onto a Covenant research ship, which I don't know why a research ship is above the planet that they're having active war with. But you're going on this research ship, and you're trying to find the plans to find the Covenant homeworld so that humans can possibly go and strike the Covenant homeworld. And you are, whatever reason, tasked with generic Marine, Sergeant Johnson. And you, for whatever reason, they're like, hey, 2-man team, guys, good luck. Go and hopefully find those plans there. And so, yeah, that is the story of the prequel missions, is basically what you and Sergeant Johnson do. But that is my first issue, is why is it that it's a 2-man operation with Master Chief and a generic human? Because do you know who else is available? Other Spartans.
Yeah.
Like, this is before Reach. Other Spartans are still alive. Why would they be like, yeah, Sergeant Johnson, a random human, there you go. That's you two.
Question. Is, like, I know you are Master Chief, but is Master Chief the war hero that is Master Chief at this point, or do you become Master Chief the war hero in Halo 1?
No, you are, Master Chief is always a hero. So before, so I've read 5 of the books, 6 of them. Before they even met the Covenant, the Spartans were actively fighting because there was a war between humans and the outer colonies. And so the Spartans helped fight that and kind of stop insurgencies. So the people already knew who the Spartans were. But then when the Covenant showed up, that's when they really showed who they were, and people really liked the Spartans. But yeah, the Spartans have always been around doing missions. Because between humans meeting the Covenant and the first Halo game is some like 40, 50 years or so. Like, it's a significant amount of time of them having a fight with the Covenant. So, yeah, Master Chief is a war hero at this time. But Sergeant Johnson, he is a hero, but in the end, he's still a human Marine.
Yeah. No, I guess because that was where I was curious. Because like I know there's like when you meet up with that other group of Marines, and she kind of like scoffs at the fact that you're a Spartan. I was trying to think of it in the context of like, okay, well you haven't saved everything yet. You haven't done Halo, but I also, as I said, don't know all of the back lore of
Yeah.
Halo either.
Which, so this is this. So if you look online, this is everyone's biggest complaint is the female character, Lieutenant Williams, and which I will say, she is just annoying. I, this is obviously new material. This is something Halo Studios. This is them flexing their writing chops, and this is my biggest issue. Of course, a lot of people are complaining about the whole gender politics of strong female woman, belittling Master Chief as a strong man. It's, to me, it's not that. It's just terrible writing. It's just not good. It's whiny. Because so when you read the lore, the ODST troops were always the best humans. They were the peak military. They were the strongest people. They were suicidal. Anytime they just went to a mission, I think 1/3 just died from landing on the planet. But they were usually the strongest. And then the Spartans came, and of course they're genetically enhanced and have all this armor. So the ODST always found them to basically be like cheaters. Like, hey, we as humans worked really hard to get this, and here you guys come in with all this fancy gear, and you're better than us now. So there's always been animosity between the ODST and the Spartans, but not in the middle of a mission. The main thing is everyone always is like, yeah, mission comes first. We need to do this. This is for humanity. But she's just like, meh, why are you here? It's just like, okay, this is just really childish high school drama. What is this?
I don't know. See, I didn't fully take it as that entirely. It definitely was laughable. Just I think again in the context of characters, and video games do this a lot. But the final, where you meet back up with them, and her and her squad of 4 other people are sitting on a pile of 3 dead bodies after you've just fought through 1,000. Just yeah. We held it down here.
Yeah, we're strong too. That's what I mean. The writing and the dialogue's
it's no, you didn't. But that's a common video game thing. And that's where, as I said, it's goofy, it's silly, and I laughed at it. And I know you're not talking about the gender of it, but even just the writing of in general, I don't know. I think games do that a lot because they just go to a weird cutscene. But I would have liked the cutscene to have showed 50. Just made it feel like they actually fought a battle there.
Yeah, I think so. I really think what sticks out here, and again, this comes back to kind of this whole mixed bag of this product. The writing for Halo was getting really bad. It was getting really bad.
When 343 took over.
But I think, when 343 took over, it was getting rough.
Yeah.
And I think Infinite kind of landed in a spot where a lot of people walked away from Infinite and said, you know what? For its flaws, it actually turned out okay.
Yeah.
And I like the story.
I
remember they did a lot of work on that story. They brought in some outside help to try and get it on track.
Yeah, they brought the original writer.
Yeah. And so, again, what's such a bummer here is they made a big announcement about Halo Studios. This is Halo Studios. This is our core brand. This is everything. And to come out like this is crap. It feels like the really bad writing when 343 was in its worst state. I don't understand why do prequel missions. I don't get that.
I don't either.
Because you said,
I usually hate prequel too.
Because of
Halo Reach is my least favorite Bungie one.
Well, just because of how iconic. Well, Reach is still an iconic game.
It is.
It's still an iconic game, and it's an iconic story that leads directly into this first game. So going into that prequel, you kind of have to find a spot before that, and I don't get that. To me, I think you should have just added the missions in the middle of the Halo story. All you needed to do was just create some additional missions that fleshed out some characters or moments. That's all you really had to do. And I think I would have been satisfied with that. You say, here is the story of Halo. What are areas, if we were to go back in time and create this game again, what are maybe some areas we would have loved to have explored a little bit more or done a little bit more? That's all they had to do.
What I thought this was going into it, is I thought that they had spaced in some additional missions to fill out the actual Halo story. And then I realized, oh no, you have to play them separately. It's completely disconnected from this, and
Yeah.
it's a prequel. And so you know what I dislike most about prequels? I mean, one, there's story, but in any, it's new content. So this is jumping a little bit into gameplay, I know, but like they have to add new content. So they add new guns, they add new vehicles because you get the Seraphim, and I think the needle rifle's new. Am I right on that?
No, that's what all the weapons. There's no new weapons.
So
but
there's
they're
just
new
the
for
Seraphim.
Halo 1.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. What about the Seraphim? Is that new?
That's original. No, that's not original.
Oh.
That was in
never
Halo
mind.
2.
Then I fully take it back because I was
No.
gonna say like you're
Well,
getting
Keith,
these
you're
like
kind
new...
of you're kind of right, kind of wrong. They're new to Halo 1. They were not in Halo 1 originally. They were in
Which is probably fine enough. I guess I was thinking that they were new entirely, and then all of a sudden you're introducing these cool weapons that never show up in the future, and they were somehow better, and they were just like, no, let's just stop using that. And prequels in general do this. There's like, here's this cool new weapon that's better than everything else, and then it suddenly just stops being used in the future games that are built. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird timeline jump of things and how they have to add content into games. In this case, I guess it's just weird in the Halo universe of timing, but
Yeah. See, for me, like, yeah, I agree. I think prequel missions was dumb. They should have done epilogue missions. How Master Chief got home. Because there's a whole book on that. That's what I think First Strike is how Master Chief got home, where he's boarding a Covenant ship and he's fighting the Covenant and trying to basically like, hijack one of their ships to get home. There you go. Like, it's already written, too. They wouldn't have screwed up that story because there's a book for it. But, like, the prequel missions, too, makes no sense of, hey, we need to find the Covenant's homeworld of High Charity, which is irrelevant because the humans find High Charity by jumping with a Covenant ship. So it's not like, oh, that's how they found High Charity and they assaulted High Charity, because humans never do that. They just jump with a Covenant ship at one point and, hey, we found their homeworld. So it's like, what's the point of discovering this? What was the point of locating it?
I'm okay with them not necessarily following those books, and I know those books have gone back and forth on whether they were canon or not, right?
No, they were all canon because it's all done by the guy who wrote Halo 1.
I thought some of those were like disregarded as canon and some were kept.
Some of the ones, I think anyone that didn't involve Master Chief didn't.
Okay, so I'm okay if they break from that. Like I'm totally fine. Like I know for the certain Halo fan that's going to be a big deal. But what you're discussing right there, just make it its own game. Like, don't turn that into a prequel. Like, if you want to turn this into an assault on High Charity and that's the game, is how they find it, how they get there, and how that all goes down, make that its own game. Just shoving that into a prequel is just such a weird thing to do. And again, people sat in a room and decided this. Like, sat around and said, this is the story that they wanted to tell. This is how they wanted to introduce Halo Studios. It's just a bad choice. And if you're sitting here saying, because there is another Halo project obviously in the works.
Yep, they already announced, I think, Halo 2 is getting reworked.
So if you're sitting here, it's not even just Halo 2. I'm just saying a brand new Halo game. So if you're sitting here going like, this is kind of your appetizer to that, like I said, overall, there are definitely some good things to take here, but for storytelling, that was not a good look.
Well, in the really big picture too, it's so small. It's like in theory, yes, you find the map to their homeworld, which may or may not matter because, as Andrew said, it you get there without the map anyways. But that said, it's 2 hours long, maybe, and there's not a lot of like, oh man, this is new information. It
doesn't add anything.
It really just more to me felt like they wanted to do something to show here's something we built, not just repainted, so to speak. And honestly, I thought it was the story. And again, jumping ahead, but we're really talking about this a lot. The cutscenes, maybe it's my Xbox, I don't know. The cutscenes are like really choppy. They're gorgeous, but they were super choppy at times for me, and that just bothered me. And
you're on a Series X?
Yeah.
Okay.
I played mine on PC, and it wasn't super smooth, but I guess it was okay. But I had it kind of jacked up. But Keith, you do though. I do like that you mentioned those cutscenes because that's another area where they flexed a little bit. That's another area where they kind of fleshed things out. Where during some of these cutscenes, also not very good.
Well, yeah, because when you crash on Halo, that's added, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember from the original, but I remember I saw it on Twitter somewhere.
Yeah.
Someone was talking about that, like that whole scene of you like subway riding the thing, because that was so goofy. Like I get your Master Chief, but like that's how I ride the subway. Like I'm like holding onto the rails, like oh I'm cool. Just grab a seat, man.
I will actually give him praise. With the main Halo, so they added a little bit more content with the cinematics. I actually like the added content.
No, I'm okay with about 85% of them.
Yeah.
85% of them I thought were pretty good, but it is hard to ignore some of those Sergeant Johnson cutscenes.
Yes. Yep.
I don't understand what they were trying to do there, and here's my theory. My theory is Sergeant Johnson has kind of built himself a bit of a reputation with those games over the years. And so I think, again, they came back to this and they said, all right, this was a character that was cool, but I don't think they really knew what he was going to become. So they were like, well, let's give him his moments.
Do you know what it is?
What?
He is the Boba Fett of Star Wars. Boba Fett literally was like 5 minutes in Star Wars, but whatever reason, everyone's like, oh my God, this bounty hunter guy was awesome, even though he literally said, like, I don't think he technically said anything, but he died super quick. But granted, Sergeant Johnson did have more moments in the game, but overall, you could it's maybe 3 minutes of dialogues out of like all the games of Sergeant Johnson. It's really not that much.
That's a really, really good connection.
And like Disney now, they're trying to put Boba Fett in the front, and now everyone's like, okay, we're sick of Boba Fett.
Well, yeah, because they tried then hamming him into all the sorts of different movies and stuff like that. It's like he kind of was just a one-off character. And Sergeant Johnson was this one Marine who was like super cool. And wisecracking. Like he fit that perfectly. So this go around, I felt like they were like, we should give him some more moments with the camera. And it doesn't.
It's awful.
It is super awkward. I can't understand why they did that. So there are moments like that. And that's why I say like 85% of the additional scenes, I'm like, oh, this is actually beneficial. Like, I think it's actually more cohesive to what the original was doing. So I don't really have a whole lot of issues with those. But yeah, when they're bad, they're bad.
Yeah. Yeah, Sergeant Johnson, like he has a lot of fourth wall breaking commentary stuff, which is annoying. It's essentially, especially in the prequel missions, you could practically feel him looking at the camera and like winking, like, "Huh? Do you like that line?" And it's just like,
every time.
What is this?
My favorite one is when he's like, "If only we can, or just wait till we can find a way to cram an AI in your suit for you." I was like, "Oh, you mean like exactly what you do at the beginning of Halo?"
but that's the thing.
Got him.
Cortana goes in Master Chief's suit early on and like before, like that wasn't the first time he's with Cortana in Halo, like, and so that's why it's like it doesn't work. Like he actually they were able to put AI in his helmet really early. Like it wasn't a huge breakthrough.
If anything, it what it feels like more. It feels like it could have been a tutorial mission for the actual game, and that just got scrapped forever ago. And they were like, let's make that a DLC or an expansion. Like it actually existed at some point.
And again, if I remember correctly, I remember watching it was like an old documentary on Bungie and kind of how the making of Halo, which is crazy. If you ever watch any documentaries from the original Xbox era and even some a little bit into the 360 area, Gears of War, Halo, they had these insane stories of how they created those games. It basically out of magic.
Yeah.
And they had multiple missions in Halo they had to scrap. Like they just did not have time to finish them. And so again, it makes you wonder, like, man, wouldn't it have been cool if they got some of the guys from Bungie that made the original game, hey, what were some of those missions? What were you guys trying to build? And then tried to add them. I think that would have been a cool way to kind of tie it in. Yeah. It's just such a weird choice to do what they did here. So you can skip those. Like truthfully, you can, if you were firing this up right now, I think in fact, I would recommend just skip the prequel missions.
I honestly, I would for the most part agree with you, Aaron, too, because it's also too of an odd choice. Obviously, when you play Halo 1, everyone always says the worst mission is the library, when you're just fighting generic hallways of Flood, very repetitive mission. My other least favorite is Truth and Reconciliation. Not the beginning. The beginning is cool when you're assaulting, but once you get in the alien ship, it's generic purple hallway, generic purple hallway, generic purple hallway. And whatever reason, Halo Studios is like, we should do that. Generic
That
purple
made
hallways,
me
and it's like, God.
so mad. The amount of times that I just ran down a hallway, ran into a room, fought 5 to 6 waves of enemies,
Yeah.
of progressively harder, and then just ran back into some more purple hallways and then
Yeah.
a cutscene. I was like, what? That's where I was like, this feels like the original, like part of the original Halo, and the fact that it feels like it was built 20 years ago. But why are they making me do this now?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you noticed that too.
Here's the thing, though. Here's where I will give a little bit of grace to them in this fact. I think remaking anything is a fool's errand. Like, I don't.
It's so dumb. I'm over it. to be
Resident
honest with
Evil's
you.
been doing it.
Okay.
Resident Evil's done a great job with it.
But here's the problem: is you run into this issue, and Halo runs into the same issue too. How, when you're looking at the balance of how do I stay true to this, but how do I also make improvements to this? And if you did those missions, and those missions felt marketably different than the rest of the product you're about to play, I think it kind of goes back to Keith's whole thing of like, wow, look how advanced those first missions looked. Everything felt fresh. It felt unique. It felt different. And now I'm going into Halo where it's a lot of purple hallways. But they can't change that because that is something that Halo fans, I think, would make a big deal of. No, the game was perfect that way in those kind of generic hallways. That is what made it special. We loved it back then. We love it still now. So I think they kind of put themselves into a spot of, if you're going to make these original missions, how advanced do you make them feel? And because you're about to play an entire Halo 1 game, that'll feel like a drawback from that.
But as we said, this is Halo Studios' first game.
I think they made a mistake.
They want to go out swinging. Like, why aren't they like, this is what we can do?
That's why they should have done that.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have done that.
That's why the issue is starting with a remake, period. If you want to come out swinging, come out showing what you can do. Don't just make somebody else's product. It's like I mean, and I know this probably happens all the time with like a musician, but it's like your breakout album is remaking,
It's a cover song.
Michael Jackson album. Like,
Yeah.
It's not your breakout album. Yeah, we've discovered your talent, but we don't know what you can offer as a songwriter, as anything else. We just know how you can sing well. And sure, so we know that they can.
Unless you're
paint
Alien
over-
Ant Farm, they did a great job.
They did. They did crush that song. But the point is ultimately, like, great, we know you can paint over it and make Halo look good in 2026 graphics. No one is surprised by that. No one's impressed by that. Or at least I'm not. I can't speak for everyone else. They should be able to do that. So remakes are so dumb because they're nostalgia driven, but with series that are so beloved as Halo, people don't want you to touch their nostalgia. They want their actual nostalgia. And then the new generation of gamers don't want this. And so it looks really good. It looks like a modern game, but half of them don't really know that they're playing a 2008 game. They think they're playing a new Halo game, and it's broken. So just make new games. I'm so sick and tired of remakes and repaints.
I will at least push back again. In this example, I'm okay with this existing because it is the 25-year anniversary of Xbox.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand why you're doing it. You're basically saying, and it is kind of smart, you're trying to show an reinvestment in the IP that made you. So you're trying to go out there. It's how you're going to execute this, though. Where they were trying to show their chops, I think it kind of hurts. I think if this game didn't have the prequels, but they fleshed out the cutscenes, updated the graphics, gave it some kind of that modern feel, and that was all they did, I think you kind of walk out of this okay. You kind of say, okay, all right, they were trying to make that remake. This was a nice way to introduce it to people. Heck, it's the first Halo game that launches on a PlayStation, so there are, in theory, people who've never played a Halo game before being introduced to this on the PlayStation. So, in theory, this makes sense. But when you now look to the future, you're a little concerned. You're a little concerned because in the areas where they had full control, it's a mixed bag. It just doesn't work in some areas. I would have been, like, to me, going back in time, if I were to make this game, I would have maybe made the remake, and then at the end, I have a prequel mission to the next Halo game. And that's where I'm going to show it off. Assuming in the next Halo game, you've kind of got a structure of how that would all come together. I would say, all right, let's make a prequel to the next game, the lead-in. That's where we'll show off. But yeah, again, just a lot of decisions that are really questionable at the end of the day, it especially when it comes to the storytelling.
I mean,
Yeah.
to your point, that's where it could have been, the assault on the Covenant planet, as it leads into that, like, because maybe even then they do a little bit of that Sergeant Johnson and you mission, or not. Again, leave that, but yeah, like lead something into a new game at the end of it where you can do something fresh. But if you're right in terms of why they chose to do that, and it makes sense, like I think you're right. I don't know. It doesn't check out to me. I swear I didn't see that giant flesh monster that you just
The Flood?
just on there.
The flood, yeah.
Oh, that's because I didn't go that far into the actual campaign.
Wow.
I to this day have never beaten this game. This is like the third time we played a Halo game, and I've still not beat the campaign.
That's kind of crazy because they're not long.
Oh, I know. I just don't find myself caring. I was never invested in it, so it's like at this point, kind of like Star Wars, I'm not gonna go and just get fully caught up on all of the Star Wars or Halo series in general. And so for me, like the gameplay, if anything, I probably am gonna want to play the multiplayer more than anything, which I don't at this point. And then
Well, there's no
two,
multiplayer in this one.
Oh well, regardless, it's the fact that otherwise, generally speaking, we've been talking about this, so it's a 20 some odd year old game. These missions, unless you loved them, they're not all that like fresh and exciting missions. Most of this game is run point A to point B, fight a bunch of waves, and this includes the main campaign, fight a bunch of waves, and then repeat. There are some that have some cool elements. The vehicle missions, things like that are dynamic, but overall on foot, I don't think that Halo offers you, at least in this version, a lot of variety, a lot of things to see.
See, well, this is also where Halo Studios kind of took over a little bit, and I actually will praise them a little bit. They did rework some missions. They have narrowed there because there are some, like the library is a lot of generic hallways, super easy to get lost. But they redid a lot of these. They reduced some of the hallways. They made things a little bit tighter and easier to navigate, which I do like. Obviously, diehards are very upset about it, but to me, I'm like, this makes sense. Like, this is for newer people. If you love the original Halo, just play the original Halo. It's just fine. Because obviously a lot of people, the other thing that was very controversial was this game as a sprint. And to me, it makes sense that there's a sprint now. As Keith said, this is like a 25-year-old game. Like, kids today, if they've been playing shooters, every game has sprint. If you give them an original Halo, the first thing they say is, this feels slow. And it does. At that time, it was super fast. Like, even now, like when I play it, like obviously I grew up with it, I'm like, there's moments where I'm like, this is fluid, this feels fast. But there is a lot of transition hallways where it is slow, where you are just walking kind of at a normal pace, trying to get to an area. But 343 really did condense those hallways. And to me, the sprint, that's what the sprint is in Halo in this game. It's a way to just speed up the transition. I never once used the sprint in combat. If I'm in combat, I'm playing like Halo. I'm walking, I'm shooting, I'm aiming, I'm tucking and doing cover. I'm not running around. I'm not G-sliding like Call of Duty and doing flips and stuff. No, the sprint literally was just for transitions.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't have an issue with it.
Can someone put a bookmark on that? Because when Andrew and I get into a debate, this is going to be one of the things I'm going to bring up. And Andrew is Adding to my defense that I was going to bring up. Oh, and the cutscene thing. Can we also check that one too? Because again, when I argue with Andrew, I'm going to use his own words against him. But yes, I agree with you.
I'm just
Andrew.
here to moderate.
Some modernizations of certain things aren't a bad thing. Those are beneficial to have those. Having a sprint is a simple way to just make the game feel a little bit more fluid. Life was not better because you didn't have a sprint. It doesn't improve the game to not have a sprint. People that argue on that defense are just idiots.
Yeah. But we're arguing about what?
Yeah, like quality of life changes are perfectly fine, and I think that's good. Like I don't know.
100%.
But all right, so and then the other thing I really want to praise actually Halo 2 is for, and the prequel missions. I actually like this. Well, so when we first played, I remember I said this in our text group, the AI was really dumb. But they did come out with like a 12 gig patch, and I did notice a significant improvement with the AI. It still has some issues, but the AI, when this game first launched, was so dumb. They literally just ran up to you and just kind of stood there. They were aggressive by running up to you, but it was just, they weren't smart. They literally would just run to you, there you go, and shoot you in the face. And I hated that. I was like, what is this? Like, it feels like 360 era, like generic shooter AI. But what I did like about the prequel missions, there was rooms that felt like a boomer shooter. It locks you in, waves of enemies are coming in, there's weapons all over the place, and you're just fighting. And I actually liked those moments in the prequel missions. There's like 3 or 4 like kind of rooms that did that. And the hunters are very aggressive in this game. This is probably the deadliest hunters I think I've ever dealt with in Halo. They were like, granted, they're once again generically kind of running up to you, but they're way aggressive and they'll kill you quick.
I was dying a lot to them, and I was kind of shocked. I was like, why are they always like this? Also, am I making this up? I felt like you were running into hunters more consistently than I remember. I remember hunters being kind of like they came at special moments.
Yep.
But I felt like I was running into them pretty consistently, and I was like, I don't remember seeing this many hunters in Halo.
No, they upped them.
3 or 4 waves of them, and do they always come in pairs? Is that?
Yep.
Okay,
it's a lore thing.
Okay, I figured there was something to that. I did see somewhere online that you can actually take them out in like 2 shots if you can get behind them, because there's like a plate on the back of them, which I don't know if that's always been there or not.
No. Well, in the original Halo, they were a one-shot kill with a Magnum. If you shot them in the back with a Magnum, it was an instant kill. That was something one of the developers literally snuck in there the last week before the game was shipped. He literally entered in the code of like making hunters a one-shot kill with a Magnum. So they removed that, which is kind of annoying.
Beautiful era of games before online
I know.
updates where you could do that. You could sneak an update.
And it's in there. Like, it's permanent. That's just how the game was made.
But that's what made it good, because that Magnum is so iconic. I will say the Magnum is very good in this game, which is nice that it has that power. But that's a new thing where you can destroy the back plate of a hunter, and there's a weak spot behind one of the plates that you can kind of target. That's
so
new.
I truthfully just played on easy, because I think I started doing this. I think I started doing this in some of the older Halo games, because I was like, I'm not trying to gain the achievements for difficulty on this game. I know I'm not going to be wowed if I have it more difficult. So I just want to try to get through the game, and not even in a negative way necessarily. Like, I just want to not slog my way through it. And I still died a decent amount of times. More often than not, it was myself with grenades, because I would throw a grenade at a charging enemy.
Hey, Andrew, wipe the smirk off your face.
I'm sorry. I've always said this, even in original Halo.
Oh,
Easy
it's
Halo
laughably
is the easiest game I think I've ever played.
No.
I'm not going to defend
The
that.
reason,
I will agree with you.
I'm going to defend you, Keith. We have on multiple episodes have said, including the very last episode we did, that you do not like first-person shooters and you're not very good at first-person shooters.
Get that.
So he is acknowledging that, and you're still laughing at him. I'm saying that's not fair.
It's just easy, and Halo is the easiest game I think I've ever played. It is like
that acknowledgement, Aaron. For the record, that's why I'm doing. I'm finally just done trying to be like, I'm gonna just get good at it. I'm gonna play it.
You should.
And I am gonna tell you that Andrew is 100 right. Like, it is laughably easy. You have a solid. I know you go into rooms and the grunts are just sleeping on the floor or whatever. and you can usually capture a couple of them. I walked through rooms. I would stand over them, like breathing in their ear before I would take a swing, and just stealth the entire room. So he's not wrong at how incredibly easy it was. But I had fun because you know what I did is I think it was one of the levels I got the fuel rod cannon. I carried it for a solid full mission because I was just walk into a room, blast the hunters, and then just start hammering them, just melee my way
And I
through them.
can't fault you. You had fun. That is the main purpose. You
That
had
is
fun.
the purpose.
I didn't like it, but it made it more fun. I got through it, and that's how I had fun doing it.
Keith acknowledges he is not good at these types of games. He's been very open and honest about that in the past. You do not need to laugh at him for playing on easy
Don't
and dying
game shame me.
sometimes. Okay?
It's just like so.
He knows this is not his bread and butter. He's been very honest about that, Andrew. So
Like
stop
turning Halo
the
into an
mocking.
idle game.
Oh, stop it.
Nope. I died also when I stood still because they would sneak up and they would.
Oh, gosh, Keith. Stop talking, please. You're giving him fuel. I'm trying to help you. You're like, nope, sometimes I stand still and the guys come up and kill me. Keith, I'm trying to help you, man.
Well, I'm saying when I would not be moving because.
Golly, man.
No,
But yeah.
no, like it's easy. I could have gotten through it on normal. I know that I would have gotten annoyed with it because that was what happened the last time we played a Halo, and yeah, I just it's fine. It's fine.
But anyway, one of the points I wanted to bring up of like what made the original Halo so good was its AI. I remember reading the official Xbox magazine and like them breaking down how the AI works. You kill the elite, the grunts scatter. Like they'll fall back and maybe try to find another group. Like they don't like to be alone. Like there's all these different aspects you could read about the AI of like how they'll push forward, they'll fall back, they'll flank, they'll do all these things. And like that's what I noticed. Like I said, they did come out with a patch that made it a little bit better, but still, like you can feel the AI just feels significantly just dumber. Like it doesn't feel as clever as it usually felt.
I think that's a little bit of misremembering. You literally just here's the other thing, Andrew. You tend to like to contradict yourself within a matter of minutes. You literally were just telling Keith that Halo is known as being an incredibly easy game. And now you're trying to say, well, actually the AI was way better before than this. Is it easy or is the AI really smart? Because smart AI makes it challenging. That's the whole idea. Is it's supposed to have a particular challenge if the AI is really good. So what is it? Is the AI really good or is it easy?
Now, I'm going to loosely defend Andrew.
No,
And I
don't you
like to-
dare.
I am going to say that I think they were more reactive in the past, not necessarily better in terms of like how they fought. Now, because I was trying to remember if this was think if this was a difficulty thing of playing on easy with this run through, or it genuinely was. The jackals in particular, they're the ones with the shields, right?
Yep.
My memory of the jackals is that they dodge every sticky grenade just about, unless you can like not double throw, but you know what I mean, like kind of lead them one way and then catch them on a roll. The amount of times I stuck them on the first throw. Now again, I was playing on easy, so I think there's some difficulty there, but I also I don't know. Yeah, I do remember like hearing the grunts like, I don't know, like calling out things and like moving a little bit better. Whereas this, they just seem to stay compact. But I don't think they were better or more difficult before. I think they were just more reactive and they did more things.
Yeah.
I think that's.
I
I think
not
that
see
is.
the clip I just shared, Aaron.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you showed a very specific clip, and I bet you $1 million you can go back and look at original Halo clips, and people have weird things like that too. That's just a single incident. That's not overly telling of the entire game. I just think there's a lot more being put on that than there actually is. I'm not saying that there wasn't something wrong with the AI at some point, but my playthrough here felt like how I remembered Halo feeling to me. I didn't walk away from this going, these guys were acting different. No, they kind of always were kind of easy to kind of go through these mobs. I never really had problems until you're coming up against the Hunter, and I think the Hunter was significantly harder now than they were in the past. It was the only character I played against that I thought felt different. everybody else felt pretty much the same to me. I didn't feel like anything stuck out to me as, oh, this character's acting weird. I think people are overanalyzing that just a bit too much.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt it. I mean, I definitely have all of us played the most in Halo 1, and I don't know. Like I said, after the patch, it felt slightly better, but I still had issues with it.
Does it have to do with the fact, though, that you're looking at this game now with modern graphics, and it's, like, misleading? You're so used to looking at it in...
Well, it's a new engine, so, I mean, you're getting new AI with it.
Yeah, I suppose there's some of it, but
Because you can't copy and paste it. So,
yeah, but I still just feel like it just feels probably more like it's just misleading. You're just expecting more than you're getting out of it.
And it's possible. Like, this is a complaint more of an old OG Halo person. As a new person, if you've never played Halo and you're playing this, like you're a new, younger person, it's probably not going to bother you as much. But it is something for me where I'm like, this AI just doesn't feel the same. Like I said, ever since the patch, they're not as egregiously bad. There is still some issues, but it's way more passable now. It's more enjoyable. But yeah, there was another point I was going to bring in. Oh, the other thing too that a lot of people were complaining about. It's crazy when you see the videos of people scrutinizing this game. Like I said, it has some issues, but like the amount of like people are like, oh my god. Like one of at the beginning, a Marine is reloading the shotgun from the bottom, and people are like, oh, excuse me, you reload from the top. This game is trash. And it's just like, come on, people, like the amount that people are tearing this game apart of like these little things, it's just like, no, that's not to complain about. Same with like some of the graphics where people are like, the bullet holes are just painted on and stuff like that. It's just like, gosh, like people are looking at this game through such a magnifying glass, and it's just play the game.
I think that's fair though. I kind of do. Because you're saying that somehow a game that was built 25 or 20 years ago somehow was better. Like you're trying to show me how you're improving this game, and you're taking fine details of it that were fine in an era. And when I say fine, not like okay fine, I mean like detailed fine, in those bullet holes, and now it's a weird flat painted surface. Or I didn't do this in game to test it myself, but I've seen clips of it. Like you go back to the old Halo, if you switch from the gunner in the Warthog, you actually have an animation. This is just like beep and you're in the seat, or beep, you're back on the gunner. Like there should be an animation there. And it's silly. You're right. I agree.
That is a little lazy.
But things like that, to be like, whoa, look how much better we made this game from a while ago, and you took something so simple, that feels lazy, and it just feels like you're just grabbing onto the fact that it's Halo, people don't care, we made it pretty now. That's my argument, and that's another reason why I'm sick and tired of just remakes as a whole. Just stop doing it, because then we can't make these stupid, annoying comparisons. Give me a game that I can actually look at fresh and new.
Andrew, is this what I sounded like?
Yeah.
I don't.
Lag a little bit.
I don't know why, but when we first started the podcast, no, it's not your fault. It's like your mic keeps cutting in and out, and then your video is like delayed. It was doing it to me when I got in, and Andrew kind of pointed out I had to like leave and then come back in. So I'm asking him. I was like, oh, is this what it sounded like when I got on? I don't know what that means.
I think our recording thing is just lagging a little bit today. It's fine.
It'll sound
fine. It's probably because I booted up a game in the background, and it was probably just killing the CPU.
That's exactly what happened. Aaron was playing Raccoon, and it was messing up his.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's an idle game, so it was absolutely taking CPU.
Gosh, I don't even remember where you were at.
Graphics.
I honestly like the graphics a lot. I have no issues with the...
Overall, I like them too.
I was really pleased with them. What just sticks out to me is like, dang, that looks good. When you pull out that sword in a dark hallway, I'm like, yeah. Kind of illuminates
that glow.
Your hands. Yeah, the glow on it looks real nice. I'm into it. That at least gave me a little bit of hope Some of the animations, yeah, not great. There's some stuff that does kind of feel like it was maybe a little lazy. Maybe part of this too is just a little bit of a crunch to get this game kind of out in time for the 25th anniversary. So again, there might be
There's
some
a lot of
reasons.
reports saying this game was rushed and it wasn't ready.
And you can kind of see it in some fine polished areas, but graphically, didn't really have any issues. I think graphically, the game kind of turned out pretty decent. Things look really good.
Well, this is one of the other big controversies of like, what do you guys think of the generic purple hallways? Were very generic, but obviously now they added more lighting and stuff like that. Same with the Forerunner stuff. Was very kind of flat. It very much was meant to be just a big structure, but they added a lot more lights and reflections and stuff like that. So a lot of people are I'd say overall, a lot of people hate it. To me,
I would give
didn't
it
mind
the pass because it is what the original game kind of looked like. So I'm going to withhold judgment there. I hope, obviously, moving forward, that is not the case. I am okay with it here because that does kind of hold very similar to how the games initially looked. Obviously, a more duller look in the originals. This is a lot more shiny. So I think it sticks out more just with the lighting and everything. That purple then starts to be like, man, this is a whole lot of dang purple in here. But I will give it a pass for now. I think moving forward, they need to make sure that whatever they're designing looks a lot better.
So, as always, I think we need to be clear that when Aaron says he is giving a pass, in this case, he means he is allowing it and it is acceptable. He is not passing on it.
Great point. Great
So
point.
I do want to start with that, but I think that it also goes. What you were saying goes back to something you were talking about earlier with the kind of the double-edged sword you work with when you're doing a remake. And I'm not going to go on a big rant about it again, but agreeing with what you were saying is that you have to make it look better, but then to make a potato look better, it still looks like a potato. It just looks like more detailed. And so when you see it all
prettier
detailed,
potato.
yeah, like it's a pretty potato now.
Potato and aluminum.
Like you look at these hallways now, and you're just like, oh, wow, they're shiny. That like there's details on that wall now, but I'm gonna see that same detail for the same 30 meters because that's how the map is built, and that's what they have to do because they're remaking it, and they can't just change the whole thing out, but they have to make it look better.
But
So
they
it
cut it in
really-
the prequel missions, and they didn't.
We're not going to go back to that, but because I still think Aaron was right on why they did that. But the thing is, it just really emphasizes how bad those graphics look in modern day, at least. Like they didn't look bad then, but you're emphasizing it by like finely detailing that.
Because the thing that kind of kills me on that, the reason why that criticism is kind of annoying to me, is you can go fire up the Master Chief Collection right now and flip between its updated graphics and its old graphics while you're playing the game. It is still dang purple. So I just think this go around, it's because everything looks so smooth, so well lit, so very purple. I just think it sticks out a whole lot more, but I have very little complaints on that because I think it is actually staying pretty true to how the game was originally created.
Well, people are complaining that it's not as purple. Like they like the generic purple hallway, but now there's so many lights and things.
Oh,
and
because they wanted a matte purple.
Yes.
That looks like it was. Yeah, okay.
just-
See, and again, but that's what I'm saying though is that it emphasizes just how boring that was because now you're seeing it look nice. But I did laugh at in the prequel mission there, like as you're leaving, there was one area they go through and they're like trying to narrate it for me. Like this should have been done as we were going through, but they're like, this was like a zoological and botany area or something. Like, first of all, not the time to be explaining to me what this is about. I'm escaping. Second of all, it's like this looks like the same exact room I've been in 10 times already, and all of a sudden it's something different. Like, no, I've been in this room already.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too that's like unfortunate. Of like I said, they did a lot of generic purple hallways in prequel missions, but yeah, they try to do this outdoor area, like artificial outdoor area, but it still felt like something I played in like Halo 2. Like it wasn't an original thing. Like, and then even too, they added a flying mission at the end, and it's still like, well, I've done this. Like, they didn't do anything new, and that's what irritated me with the prequel missions. Like, I played it once, and honestly, I'm good. I don't think I'll ever play it again. Maybe to get the skulls to collect them all, but still, it was just, but not to play because I was like, this is fun. Like, this mission felt completely different. I did something new in this. No, this is something I've done before in a Halo game. And it looked the same.
But the music is still awesome.
Yeah.
That they didn't change.
No.
Music's still pretty good. It still pops.
Still
fact,
iconic.
I feel like they put more music in. Like, the original music, but, like, to me, I don't feel like it felt like almost every battle was doing an iconic Halo song. And I don't really remember that too much. To me, I just felt like they were like, yeah, we're just going to keep adding more of the music.
Shut
Which is
up,
fine, because it's a
Andrew.
good soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Shut
part
up.
I don't. That part I don't know. I just
I don't
noticed
know
that in
either.
prequel.
Yeah,
that I
it
was
never
like,
really
man,
stuck out to me. Like, I don't remember your song here. I don't know.
I just
I mean,
thought the jams were always really good, and like I said, just going back to it, Halo is one that I will say is iconic.
Yep.
So, Expedition 33 soundtrack, though. You know,
Oh, well,
just
no one's getting that.
No, never.
but well, we also kind of glazed over. The other new thing they added was a whole bunch of new skulls, which I gotta say are pretty cool. It's cool, like how you unlock them. Some of them you gotta like do like a passcode or do these weird things in a mission to be like, oh, now this skull you can grab. But yeah, there's like 47 skulls to grab, which is a significant amount. Usually they only had like one per level, but now it's like 3 or 4. But they also added campaign remix, which is kind of cool. But it essentially shuffles all the enemies. It could shuffle all the guns. So you'll be playing an area, and it's like, oh, there's 3 hunters here and a whole bunch of jackals and brutes. Like, it'll just kind of mix things up, which is cool. Like, not something that made me go, wow, I'm gonna play this forever. Like, this is something that's gonna give me hours and hours of gameplay. No, it was something kind of fun. And then, of course, the other new thing they added was 4-player co-op. The original only had 2-player, but now this one has 4-player, which is also great. Like, more being able to play with friends. But it is also great because it has at least 2-player couch co-op. Because that's where they really dropped the ball in Halo Infinite, that there was no couch co-op. Like, Halo has always been iconic of having couch co-op. And I remember a lot of people roasted Halo Infinite when they canceled it. Because they said, oh, we're absolutely going to have couch co-op. And they scrapped it. So, good for you, Halo Studios. Thank you for actually staying on your promise and having couch co-op. But,
Thank you, Halo Studios.
oh, but what did you guys... So, also, since we're going on the audio, what did you guys think... So, Sergeant Johnson, the original voice actor, it's not the original voice actor. He officially retired. Essentially, I think when Halo 3 ended, he was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm retired. So, this is a completely new guy. But they at least still brought Steve Downs and trying to blank on voice actors of Cortana. But either way, the same original voice actors. Except I did not hear David Cross. David Cross was one of the generic Marines, and he wasn't in this one.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. That would have been kind of neat. I don't know if I would have picked up on it.
I think the voice acting... I didn't notice the voice acting as being bad.
Just
I
the
didn't-
writing.
Just the writing to it. There are some weird gaps in how they're talking to each other, but as far as it goes for the performances, they all sounded good.
Yeah, and I don't know what the original Sergeant Johnson sounded like.
Yeah, unless you're
to-
putting them
to
next
tell
to
you.
each other, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I mean, this new guy, he does sound pretty close. To me, I think he does a good enough job. It's just the writing is bad.
Yep.
But yeah, the achievements, though, are fine. There's a couple that are going to be obviously very difficult because they usually have your lasso achievements having certain skulls on. Yeah, there's a couple where you got to have these really hard skulls on and take no health damage. And it's like, woof. Like, those
No,
are some
thank
hard
you.
achievements. Oh, well, I guess it's not. The other big thing I forgot they changed for gameplay is, in the original Halo, you had to collect health packs. No longer a thing.
Oh yeah.
You now regenerate health, which I think is good. I thought it was kind of
Yep.
dumb getting health packs.
Wasn't there a Halo that did that? I feel like that's been a thing.
Yeah, the first Halo did health packs, but all the other ones you just regenerated.
No. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I feel like I remember regenerating health.
Yeah,
No,
you regenerated health after the first one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You regenerated shield.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is what I'm remembering is the later games where you did regenerate health. So when he said health packs, I remembered them But I thought you also regenerated health, I guess.
But yeah, let's get into our final thoughts here, though. Halo Campaign Evolved. As I said, for me, this is not the peak Halo 1 experience. If you want to do that, play Master Chief Collection. Just play the original. Honestly, I don't even play the I guess it's reworked. No, not even reworked. It's remastered. Where you could switch between the graphics. I hated the new graphics of the first Halo. Like, because they screwed up the hitboxes on so many things. Just play OG Halo. If you really want to, if you're an original gamer and you want to play it, it's still a great game. This, however, if you have never played a Halo, I think, like, people are talking like this is the worst thing ever, that it is unplayable, it is complete garbage. It's not. It has its issues, yes, but I don't care for the prequel stuff. But at the end of the day, this is still Halo 1, and it is still a ton of fun. It's still fun to play with your friends. It's still just fun to just shoot the Covenant, play with the original weapons. Yes, some of it's tweaked. Yes, it's not a complete 1-to-1. But like I said, play the original if it's that upsets you that bad. To me, I like the new added stuff. It makes sense to have it for a modern audience. It makes sense to add a little bit more to the cutscenes, because when you watch the original cutscenes, they are super jumpy, and they don't fully explain things and flesh things out. But back in the day, you obviously read the manual, and there was other things to kind of fill in the gaps. So it was acceptable. But obviously today, it's like, what is going on in the story? So I like that they added more to the cutscene, and there's a little bit more dialogue. Just not with the prequels. The prequels, awful writing. You could kind of skip it. But yeah, to me, after they improved the AI, it still has its issues, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to land on a 75 with this. I still had fun with it, but
So I've been waiting this whole episode for Aaron to fight Andrew, and never has it happened. So
yeah,
I'm just starting. Well, I'm just starting with that because I need to bring that out to it. Oh, good. I'm glad. But I mean, this does nothing for me. We kind of said it earlier. Like, I don't think this is worse than the original Halo. I don't think it's better than the original Halo. I think it's the original Halo that, yeah, they did what they should have to bring it to the modern audience, and really more than anything, I think bring it to the PlayStation audience, because even I don't know, if you pick up an Xbox, for the most part, you know that Halo is an old game, and so if you go in to play it, you are, but it's probably more new to the PlayStation era, so give them those modern era feels to it. But and I think even a little bit, that's where like the prequel missions don't feel too out of place if they forced it in. Even the fact that they're separate, I think, is really the biggest miss on them. Overall, I don't know, it's Halo with really good graphics and some more modern things. I wish I knew what I gave the original one, because I'd probably give it the exact same as her. So my score is whatever I gave the first Halo, and I'm going to guess that I gave it a 77. I don't know what I actually gave it. I'm just guessing.
Well, I have a paper here. You gave Halo Reach an 87.
Well, this is 77, so.
But yeah, I don't see original Halo.
Wow. The official document.
Someone put it in the comments on Spotify.
Yeah, somebody will know.
I'd love to know.
Somebody will know. I'm going to spend my closing arguments just blasting Andrew. So,
I love this.
Andrew, this was not
this podcast out.
This was not a good episode for you. You were nothing but walking contradictions.
What are you talking about?
At your opening statement, you said something that I was like, what? You said, if you haven't played Halo, I'd still say you should go play the original. That's insane. And then you just said here, if you haven't played it before, you should play this one first. What?
No.
But then
I'm saying the peak is original Halo. Like,
no, I'm saying in 2026, if you are going to play Halo, this is still the best version you can go play right now. Period. You agreed. You just said the cutscenes were better, correct? Yes, you did.
Well, yeah, okay.
Okay. Are the modern improvements actually better? Does Sprint actually make the game better? Yes, you know that. Does adding weapons in this game, such as the SMG, something small, but
No, I hated the SMG in this.
Oh, whatever.
That was a waste.
No, it still added guns and added improvements in the right places, including the cutscenes, why wouldn't you just recommend that to someone? What does going back to the original Halo without those cutscenes, without those modern improvements in there, how is that a better experience for somebody? The only person that is benefiting is the hoity-toity, nose in the air Halo fan that I only play the original and that's the only one that matters. That's the only person that's going to care about it. So you can't keep your legs in both territory, Andrew. What is it? Is the original actually a better experience for somebody today, or is it the new one, the actual better experience for somebody? You've made the argument all episode that the new one actually offers enough benefit there in the original storytelling of Halo to make it a net benefit. And I would agree with you. So your statement at the beginning, the reason why I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know how someone could look at this with the better graphics, with the improvements added in there, and say, nope, the original is still the better way to play it. No, it isn't. Under no circumstances is it. It is only good if you go back 25 years in the past and you don't know any better. That's it. That's the only way this is better. The original one is better. So, you've had a bad episode, Andrew, but that's okay. This is still a good experience for me.
Are you starting to defend the live-action Disney movies too here, Aaron?
No, because those don't make an improvement. They didn't make an improvement.
No, and in many cases, they actually make it worse.
They make it worse. See, and that's the thing, is this isn't that type of remake. I think, again, their original stuff was a problem. I'm not arguing with you. The prequels were bad, and I even said, just skip them. If you're to fire this up today, just start at the beginning of the game. Do not go to the prequels. Just skip right on past them. You don't have to play them. You literally do not have to. You can go right on, which is great. It would have sucked if they forced you to have to play that before you got into the first mission. All in all, I still had a decent experience with this. Halo is still Halo at the end of the day. It didn't make any drastic changes to where this didn't feel like Halo anymore. It still does. And I still had a really, really good time with this. It's still an all-time iconic game. Just sucks that, some of the changes they did do on their own were not always the best decisions. Some of those cutscenes are a little weird. 85% of them are really good, though. I'm going to give this an 88.
No, my answer to you, Aaron, is the AI. The AI is still significantly better in the original Halo.
I would love to see someone put them actually side by side. Not your opinion comparing both.
That's what I'm saying.
Put them side by side. Aaron, you swayed me. I'm going to go original Halo plus 1 point. I was almost at plus 2 points, but I am so annoyed with remakes that I can't go plus 2. I think it just goes back to stop making remakes at this point.
That's fair.
But you did gain a point. So original Halo plus 1 point. Guesstimate 78.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Great scoring. Love it.
Well, I'm not changing the score. I'm changing. You're still going to be at 77.
There you go. I know.
I already sent the message.
Because you are that Halo fan.
No, because I already sent the message to Donnie, who's in charge of the website.
Oh, you're not changing mine.
Nope. I can tell him to add plus 1 point. How about that?
I'm gonna message you and tell him to add it.
Okay, go ahead.
Specifically because Andrew was wrong.
All right, everyone. There you go. Halo Campaign Evolved. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. Like I said, don't always listen to people online because some people think this is the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, this is not you're going to love it or hate it. Andrew!
No, well, I'm saying that because of what you see online. People are, like I said, people are acting like this game is like the new Redfall. And it's not that bad.
I think we also need to stop listening to what people are saying online.
Yeah.
Because when you say online, you're saying the same 10 people who have dumb arguments that get broadcast to everybody.
Yep. You just need to listen to us. But anyway,
exactly.
That's going to do it for us this week. Thank you all so much for joining us. Please make sure you go to GamePassGrabBag.com. You can check out our website, find all our past reviews of games. Please tell us, what did you think of Halo Campaign Evolved? And also, too, was this worth its $50 price tag? Because I'm glad they at least did $50. I thought this game was $70, and it's like, woof. Like, to just put a coat of paint on this and call it $70, that's rough. But, yeah, tell us what you think of it. Was this something that you thought was better, worse than the original? Tell Aaron I was wrong.
They always do.
But yeah, I've been your Hardcore Gamers, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird0952. You can also just message me, tell me how right I am and how great I am at this podcast. And Aaron's just really mean to me. But thank you all for joining us. We love you all. We'll see you again next week.
Bye. The baby.
That's Master Chief, baby.